Thank you for joining me today to learn about the Aerial Yoga Hammock. This first demonstration, the hammock is at the hip height. And we're going to use the chair for this one. So I'm opening it up. And something like that. It's called the sling. And then sitting in a chair, feet a little wide, hands on the fabric, upper back is active, coming into a little stretch, and then coming up and forward. This is called the rolling pin, and then some side stretches. These can feel really nice. And then we're going to use the fabric at the knee height. Notice it's the knee height now. Bringing the fabric behind, opening it up, coming into a seat, making sure the fabric is there. And then bringing the arms around behind, opening up the fabric with the hands and arms, and then laying back down. This can feel really relaxing. A little bit of rocking, into that rocking chair variation. This can feel really nice. One foot then the other comes into the hammock, and then it's cocoon or vacation hammock with a little side to side movement. Releasing the feet out back onto the mat, and then walking backwards to come all the way back up. And then using the chair, coming to a seat, so the fabric is now at the knee height, bringing one foot in at the ankle, sitting up nice and tall, and moving that leg out to the right and back. You can also hold on to the fabric with that same hand. And then coming forward for a little stretch. And then the opposite hand comes onto the fabric, opening up to the right for a twist. That can feel really good. And then thoughtfully removing that foot, putting the other ankle in. And same thing on this side. Sitting nice and tall. Leg goes out. Doesn't have to go very far, but this can feel really good. It's great for the legs and hips. And then again, coming back to center. A little stretch over that leg, like we did on the other side. And then coming into that twist, opening up to the left. Keeping that left leg active. And then coming back, sliding the hands down and removing that foot. Now coming to a seat into the hammock, sort of like a bucket seat. This is going to be sort of a variation of boat pose with the fabric at the mid-back and behind the knees. Holding the fabric in the hands and then leaning back a little bit. Just a brief little boat there. Now the fabric is at the calf, so a little bit lower. And opening up the fabric, giving it a little flapping to get out any of the folds. Bringing the fabric behind, again gathering it about 3 times. Shoulders in, giving a little push with one hand to make sure there's fabric there to sit on. And again, opening it up, laying back down. Hands and arms where they're comfortable. And again, a little movement. Bringing one foot in, then the other. Coming into vacation hammock again with some side bends. That can feel really good on the back and shoulders. And releasing the arms overhead can feel nice. one of the favorite positions in the hammock. Feet come back out, finding the mat. A little bit of rocking chair, back and forth. And then hands come up, pulling up to a seat. And then bringing the hands forward, coming over the front legs, relaxing the upper back and shoulders. Socks off. Hands come to the back once more, holding on, walking backwards, and just standing up. And then bringing the fabric around, coming to a seat. Bringing one foot into the fabric. I'm going to turn around here. And then laying down. Right ankle is in the fabric. And then taking that leg out to the right and back. So similar to what we were doing in the chair. This can feel really nice into the hips and legs. Switching feet. Left side. And then bringing it back, bringing both feet in, coming into just a gentle inversion here. And then little pliés. This is a great leg and hip strengthener. And it's easier to do laying down than standing up. And again, relaxing in this gentle inversion. And then a little variation here, bringing the fabric behind the knee crease. This can feel very supportive. And then reaching the legs up, just trying to get into a second wrap here. And then it brings the legs a little higher for another variation of that inversion. Releasing out of that. Coming back to that leg support. Releasing one foot. And then using the hands to bring the other foot out. Hands on the fabric. Bend one knee, then the other, and then pull up to a seat. Now using a bolster to sit on, coming into some stargazers. These are wonderful for the upper back and shoulders. Feet wide, knees bent, hands behind the head, elbows out wide, gazing up as if gazing at stars, side to side bends. Bending to one side and then the other, keeping the head supported. This is great for the fascia in the upper back. And then using the hands, pulling up to a seat and pause. And then stepping in between, straddling the fabric, opening it up at the back, making sure that there's equal amount on each side, stepping back, sitting into the fabric, holding on with the hands. And then you could always stay here with the feet wide, or you can bring one foot in to the fabric, and then the other foot coming into a straddle position, bending the knees, peeking out there, coming into meditation cave. Or you can just keep the feet on the mat. Walking back, holding onto the fabric to come back up, and then coming out, and then coming onto a chair, bringing the fabric behind the upper back, coming into some stargazers. So similar to what we were doing on the bolster, but using a chair, getting the same benefit in the upper back and shoulders and side body. These can feel so good no matter what variation you're doing. And then pause, notice sensation. Now with the blanket over the mat, we're going to come into some other variations here. wrapping, double wrap for a key wrap, coming into a table pose. Just a little stretch here and engagement in the upper back and shoulders. This can feel really good. Nice shoulder stretch. And then releasing that wrap. Bringing the fabric in front for, again, some rolling pins here. Going forward and back a couple times. Notice how this feels. Great strengthener. And then bringing the fabric around the upper back in front of the shoulders like a backpack and coming into the shoulder press. Arms are active, upper back and shoulder girdle active. Usually only do a few of these because sometimes shoulders complain. And then coming back up and pause. Now using the bolster again, straddling the bolster and bringing the fabric right around the low back, sort of like a skirt. And walking back until it feels you can sit down easily. Cautiously walking forward, straddling the bolster. And then make sure that bolster's where you want it. Holding onto the fabric, laying down onto the bolster. And adjusting the fabric as you need to, maybe a little lower. Coming into supported bridge. This can feel wonderful. And then bringing one foot in and then the other, coming into the fabric. And it's a waterfall pose. A wonderful, gentle inversion. This can feel really great. And as you might notice, I'm staying here a little bit longer. And then reaching one foot out and then the other. Coming back to supported bridge. Adjusting the fabric a little bit lower. And then bringing one leg up and then the other in front of the fabric for variation of Supta Baddha Konasana or cobbler pose. Gentle inversion. You might release one leg, bending the knee, just letting it hang. A little side to side. That can feel really nice. Bringing it back up and releasing the other leg. Same thing on this side. And these are just variations. Releasing both legs again into supported bridge. Coming back into waterfall because it feels so good. And if the fabric is low enough, you may not even need a bolster for this pose. It really depends on the height of the fabric. And then feet back on the mat, hands on the fabric, and pulling up to a seat. And then slowly, thoughtfully walking back and standing up. Coming into the fabric again, making sure there's enough fabric to sit on. Hands and arms spreading the fabric out so it can lay back into the fabric like that hammock again. Bringing one foot in and then the other. Vacation hammock. Well, we explored at the calf, the knee, and at the hip height today. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed finding out more about this prop. Anyone can enjoy the benefits of aerial hammock yoga. There's always options. Thank you so much for joining me today. And remember to like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you. Namaste.